The USS Comply floated in deep orbit around the trade moon Verlis 9, its halls patrolled by order, rules, and humans barely holding on to patience. Among the diplomatic recruits on board was Zarella, an Obadari female with sleek violet skin, four-fingered hands that couldn't stop touching what they shouldn't, and a curiosity that bordered on criminal. She had been warned twice. 3 strikes meant formal correction. Commander Travis Dale, a man whose tolerance had been sandblasted by years of galactic diplomacy, entered the restricted gear room to find Zarella standing wide-eyed, holding a vibrating black cylinder near her face. It was his backup deep tissue massager. His eyes twitched. "You know that's off-limits," he said calmly. Zarella tilted her head. "It's fascinating. Is this your species' disciplinary rod?" He blinked. "That's not what it's called. But it vibrates at irregular frequencies. Surely it's used to enforce compliance through physical stimulation." Travis muttered under his breath. "You have no idea." She nodded eagerly, unaware. "Then I have properly identified the purpose." "Excellent. I wish to undergo correction. You're not supposed to be in here. I crossed the boundary line. You broke into a restricted locker. A line, yes. You touched my personal items. I wish to understand them. You turned on my massage tool. I wish to test its frequency settings." He stared at her. "You really want discipline, don't you?" "I want to learn," she said, with an earnestness that made his jaw tighten. The Obadari had no shame filters, and Zarella was the worst of them. 3 official warnings. Technically, this required a formal report, but paperwork was a slow death. Travis had a better idea. "Fine. You're scheduled for correction. Tomorrow. Training room. 0700. Where's something you can sweat in?" "Sweat? You'll find out." Zarella clapped. "Is there a traditional phrase I must recite before correction?" He turned away. "Yeah. I really brought this on myself." As Travis left, he could already feel the ship's gossip nodes humming. There'd be questions. Whispers. Misinterpretations. But whatever. He'd handle it. The next morning, Zarella arrived 10 minutes early, dressed in flexible ship-standard gear and an expression of excited disobedience. Travis walked in holding a training schedule and his last ounce of patience. "You're early. Eagerness ensures deeper correction, yes?" He sighed. "We're starting with posture drills." The first exercise was the wall sit, classic human endurance builder. Zarella lasted 4 seconds before collapsing, then apologized while upside down. Travis tried to explain. Pain equals progress, but she interpreted that as an invitation to endure more. Every instruction became a misinterpreted signal. "Hold the ball between your knees," he said. "For how long before the release phase?" she asked. "Just squeeze. Until I tremble? That usually happens." Zarella's performance was spectacularly terrible but consistent. She failed every test with enthusiasm. She tripped over her own feet during agility drills, misused resistance bands, and asked if the term, downward dog, had specific mating relevance. Travis regretted every decision that brought him here. At one point, while demonstrating stretches, she asked, "Am I sufficiently spread for correction?" Travis dropped his clipboard. Word spread. Other alien recruits peered through the training windows. Some took notes. Some whispered, "Humans teach with pain. They dominate with touch. Discipline includes squatting motions." Fascinating. By the end of the session, Travis handed Zarella a hydration pack and sat beside her. "That was something. Did I improve?" "You improved in ways I can't explain to command." "Then I passed the first phase of Earth correction?" "No. You're scheduled again tomorrow." Her smile widened. "I will disobey something else to prepare." "Please don't. I want to get better." "Firm correction improves retention, yes?" He covered his face. "I need a vacation." She leaned in, speaking softly. "Commander, I hope you correct me harder next time." Travis choked on his water. Somewhere, a ship's sensor glitched. Somewhere else, a complaint was already being filed, by someone jealous they weren't the ones being corrected. Back in his quarters, Travis tried to fill out the discipline log but got stuck on the field marked nature of violation. He typed, deleted, then settled on excessive boundary crossing and aggressive willingness to be educated. He paused. Then added, also stole my massager. Tomorrow was going to be worse. Or better. He wasn't sure. All he knew was, she'd crossed the line again. And next time, he might not stop her. Travis entered the training bay with a datapad and a promise to himself. Today would be structured, clinical, and very unsexy. Zarella was already stretching with unnecessary enthusiasm, bending in ways that made even the security camera look away. She greeted him with a grin. Commander, I've reviewed human anatomy charts. I'm ready for firmer correction. He ignored the implications and tossed her a resistance band. Warm-up drills. No talking. She wrapped the band around her thighs, wiggled once, and asked, should I moan during tension exercises, or is silence preferred during strain? He stared at the ceiling and counted backwards from 10. Just breathe normally. As she bent into the squat, she said, oh yes, this burns. Am I doing it wrong enough for you to intervene? You're doing great. He lied. The first half hour was chaos disguised as discipline. Zarella fell backward during lunges, wrapped the jump rope around her own neck, and when asked to do push-ups, asked, shall I present my form for evaluation from behind or above? He refused to answer and moved on to agility drills. During the shuttle sprint, she tripped mid-run and slid across the padded floor, landing in a position he refused to describe. Was that an Earth mating display? She asked while lying on her side. The pose I landed in was in your ship's medical catalog under pelvic flexibility. No, that was a coordination failure. Oh. So you're saying I need to be punished for poor performance? Travis nearly walked out. The second session ended with her drenched in sweat and smiling. Today's correction was much firmer. I feel thoroughly processed. He grunted and handed her a protein cube. Eat. Hydrate. Reflect. I reflected on your tone the entire time. That wasn't part of the lesson. I added it myself. For depth. Back in the command lounge, Travis found himself ambushed by Lieutenant Yannick from Logistics, a three-eyed Athari officer who leaned in close. Is it true? Your discipline protocol involves personal handling? No. But you were alone in the room with her. It was a training session. There are rumors that Earthlings correct through physical dominance rituals. Are these rumors true? Absolutely not. Yannick's eyes sparkled. Then, may I request correction too? No. The rumors were out of control. That afternoon, the ship's internal AI flagged discipline training as a trending keyword. Travis received a polite but extremely awkward inquiry from Human Resources. Please clarify the intent and context of firm discipline sessions being logged under non-standard parameters. He replied with a single sentence. She's an alien with no cultural boundaries and everything she says sounds filthy. I'm just trying to get her to follow rules. HR replied with, we will escalate this to Fleet Behavioral Ethics pending clarification of filthy. Travis deleted his inbox. The next session, Zarella brought her own list of corrections she hoped to experience. She read it aloud with pure innocence. First, delayed gratification squats. No. Second, controlled panting during proximity drills. No. Third, synchronized sweating, your heart rate and mine. Absolutely not. Fourth, dominance resistance simulations with vocal prompts. He walked out of the room. She followed him, waving her datapad. But I downloaded all the proper moan sounds. Later, in the cafeteria, she approached with a datapad and presented her progress chart. It included categories like emotional whimpering, back tension compliance, willing surrender posture, and preferred firmness of verbal tone. Each category was scored with little gold stars. Travis downed his coffee and told himself that alcohol should be standard issue for dealing with aliens. Later that night, The ship's AI sent him another alert. Multiple personnel requesting inclusion in Commander Dale's firm correction protocol. Please confirm availability. He sent a voice note. I'm not starting a cult. Deny all requests. The AI responded, logically, Commander, your correction method has created elevated morale and increased interest in interspecies understanding. Should this continue? He threw his shoe at the intercom. The next morning, Zarella entered his office holding a small item. It was the massage tool again. She held it out like a sacred relic. I believe I now understand the settings. This device hums when touched gently, but buzzes aggressively when held firmly. This is a metaphor for your training method, yes? Travis stared at her, deadpan. Put it back. And wash your hands. She bowed slightly. As you command, my firm instructor. Before she left, she added, Tomorrow, I would like to try the obedience hold you mentioned last time. I never said that. But it was implied. When you said I'm going to hold you to the rules. That's not. I'm making flashcards for your phrasing. It helps me absorb correction more deeply. He put his head down on the desk and muttered. Deep absorption. God help me. Just outside, a crewman passed Zarella in the hallway and asked, How was your punishment today? She smiled wide. Firm. Precise. Deliciously humiliating. The crew member nodded in reverence. You're lucky. By now, a betting pool had started on who would be next to receive discipline. Travis received a memo. Commander Dale, please refrain from using ambiguous language with alien personnel, including but not limited to firm, hard, grip, tight, rough, submissive, correction, and you're going to get it. He wrote back, What words are left? No response came. Zarella submitted a formal request for continued personal development under firm human guidance. He stared at the form. Under reason for request, she had written, Because it feels so right when you say I'm wrong. Travis was done playing around. The rumors, the stares, the anonymous messages asking to be corrected, it had gone too far. Zarella's behavior wasn't improving, it was escalating, and now he had a crew whispering about his supposed dominance techniques. He requested a temporary behavioral evaluation. The ship's counselor, a soft-voiced Galarnian with too many eyes and no sense of privacy, listened quietly as Travis explained everything. She misinterprets everything. Every order, every phrase. I told her straighten up, and she replied, Yes, Commander. I will present myself for firm handling. She said it with a smile. And posture. The counselor hummed. Perhaps you're projecting authority in ways that stimulate unexpected curiosity. Maybe it's not the words. It's you. She asked if our push-up sessions were foreplay. Well, were they? Travis stood and left. But the ship wasn't letting him off that easy. The next day, the AI flagged another incident. Zarella had broken into his old simulation files, the ones stored from his training officer days. One was labeled Tactical Submission Protocol, Level 7, and required physical cooperation from a simulated partner. She'd run it for 2 hours. When Travis found her, she was outside the sim room, sitting on the floor with her arms around her knees. Her face was flushed a deeper violet. That was incredible, she said, not looking at him. It corrected every muscle in my body. I was bent, lifted, rolled. I didn't know discipline could be so immersive. Travis pinched the bridge of his nose. It wasn't designed for that. It responded to my resistance. The more I disobeyed, the firmer the simulator became. Is this how humans train affection? No. That's a tactical maneuver suite for live partner simulations. It's not intimacy. She blinked slowly. But it touched me. It's programmed to simulate grappling. Your grapples are very warm. Very thorough. He needed air. And probably a legal team. Back at his console, Travis drafted a memo titled, Clarification of Disciplinary Intent. Before he could finish, Zarella pinged him, Session request. Objective, clarification via demonstration. He declined. She sent another session request. Objective: reenactment of VR protocol with instructor feedback. Declined. Then a third session request. Objective: direct submission to commander for extended correction. He slammed the tablet shut. That evening, he found her waiting outside his door. "I need closure," she said. "You need boundaries. Then teach me." Her voice had none of the usual teasing lilt. That made it worse. Or better. He wasn't sure anymore. She continued, "I've never understood humans. I thought your rules were rigid, but they're flexible. Your authority is layered. Your commands are complex. I can't interpret them through logic. That's because they're not about logic. They're about context. I've been learning your context. And I think I crave it." He opened the door, let her inside, and sat down without speaking. She stood in the middle of the room, eyes focused. "Correct me. Sit down." Quietly. She obeyed instantly. "You want a lesson? Fine. It starts now. No talking unless I ask a question." She nodded. "For the last 3 weeks, you've misunderstood nearly every instruction I've given. I was trying to learn through action. You were provoking responses. That's not education, that's mischief. But it worked. It confused people. It made others think this was about something it wasn't. And what is it about?" He paused. "Understanding. Then I want that. With you." They stared at each other in silence. "You really want correction?" he asked. "Yes." "Then we do it my way. Ground rules. Actual compliance. And no moaning when you stretch. No promises." He leaned back. "Fine. We're going to try a different method. I tell you what to do. You follow. No performance. Just follow. Strictly? Completely. Should I call you?" "No." "Understood." The next few days were quiet. Structured. She followed orders. No dramatics. No teasing. Just precise action. Travis almost missed the chaos. Almost. Until she handed him a report titled Discipline Progress: Human Emotional Reactions to Control Structures. It was color-coded. He skimmed it, mouth twitching. Under. Preferred correctional phrases. She'd highlighted. "You're out of line. I'll handle you personally. You need a firmer touch. You asked for this." Under. Reaction chart. She'd rated her responses. Shiver level, moderate to high. Compliance response, willing to eager. Emotional stimulation, peak during scolding. He looked up. "You documented your arousal levels during training? Emotional learning curve. I was very thorough. I'm not sure whether to promote you or report you. Can't you do both?" He stared at her for a long moment. "You still want correction?" She stood straighter. "I want clarity. I want context. And if discipline is how you humans give it, then give it to me. As real as you can." He folded his arms. "Tomorrow. My rules. Final lesson." She smiled. "I'll be early." Travis arrived at the training room 5 minutes early. Zarella was already there, standing perfectly still, posture flawless, arms at her sides. For the first time, she didn't greet him with a teasing smirk or a poorly disguised double entendre. She looked serious. Focused. Almost reverent. He walked in and spoke calmly. "This is the final session." She nodded. "I'm ready to be corrected. Fully. No performance. No dramatics. You follow exactly what I say." "I understand." He paced slowly in front of her. "You've misread every signal since you got here. Twisted every rule into something suggestive. Turned structure into seduction. I only mirrored what I thought you wanted. That's not how discipline works. It's not about control. It's about understanding responsibility." She looked at him without blinking. "Then I submit to responsibility." He took a breath. "We'll see. You're going to follow every order I give." No questions. No interpretation. Yes, Commander. He stepped closer. First, balance drills. Hold form. Stay still. Don't flinch. She did. Now core control. Breathe only when I tell you. Yes. Hold. She tensed. Her chest rose but didn't fall. Seconds passed. Release. She exhaled. Her face flushed slightly. Next, verbal obedience. I ask you answer? Understood. What's your role on this ship? To learn, obey, support the mission. What's your mission right now? To be corrected by you. What do you want from this session? Understanding. And to give you what you deserve. That answer caught him off guard. What do you think I deserve? Respect. Control. Relief. He stared. Relief? You've held back too much. He didn't respond. She continued. You've followed every rule while I broke them. You didn't punish me. You taught me. That's harder. His voice dropped. Discipline isn't about shouting. It's about staying when it's easier to leave. Then you've been more disciplined than anyone here. The room was silent. No humming equipment. No sensors flashing. Just breath. You're not here for correction anymore, he said. No, she replied. I'm here because your version of correction makes me feel seen. It's the first time Order felt safe. Felt warm. He gave her a long look. You still want to be handled? Yes. But not because I broke something. Because I'm ready for what comes after. He stepped forward. She didn't move. What if what comes after isn't clean? She tilted her head. Then correct me anyway. There was a tension neither of them broke. You're not like the others, he said. You don't flinch. You don't wait for permission to want something. Neither do you. You just bury it. He swallowed. And what if I'm not gentle? I'm not fragile. He took another breath, then lowered his voice. Then let's end this the right way. She nodded once. For the next hour, every command was followed. Every motion precise. Every mistake corrected with quiet instruction. No laughter. No teasing. Just absolute focus. She fell once. He caught her without a word. She recovered, didn't apologize, didn't wink. She continued. At the end, they stood across from each other. Sweat on both their foreheads. Breathing heavy. No words. Then she said, Was I corrected? You were disciplined, he replied. And you learned. She stepped forward, voice softer. Then will you do it again tomorrow? He arched an eyebrow. You planning to misbehave again? She gave the faintest smile. I might forget a boundary or two. He chuckled. I've got new protocols ready. For repeat offenders. She leaned in slightly. And what if I break all of them on purpose? Then you'll get exactly what you deserve. She stood straight again. Then I'll make it worth your time. As she turned to leave, she paused at the doorway. Commander? Yes? You never answered what you'd get out of correcting me. He looked at her, then down at his data pad. I get peace. Even when I make it hard? He smirked. Especially then. She left without another word. Later that night, a message pinged in his private inbox. Subject, Future Correctional Planning. Commander, thank you for today. I believe I now understand the true function of human discipline. It is not about force. It is about connection wrapped in restraint. Control that cares. Firmness with meaning. Also, please advise, does Earth Protocol permit correctional activity off-duty? Asking for clarity. Travis closed the message and stared at it for a long while before replying. Only if boundaries are enthusiastically broken.